Hello, church family. Today is Thursday, September 7th, and this is our weekly update. Our verse of the month is a verse that helps us to take our thoughts captive so that we don't allow all the what ifs and the hard things of life to derail us. The verse is Romans chapter 8, verses 28 and 29. It says, "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. For those he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, in order that he might be the firstborn among many brethren." And many of us know the verse that God works all things together for good, but we need to make sure we couple that to verse 29. And verse 29 helps us to understand that what specifically God is doing in our trials, because we can let our thoughts just go all kinds of places and wonder, well, maybe one day I'll know why God's doing all of this. But these verses teach us that God, in his sovereign, wise, good, and purposeful character, that he is working all things together for us to be more like Jesus. And so what we know is the good that God is working all things to, he may be doing a whole bunch of them. But the one thing that we know for sure and we're responsible for is that the growth into becoming like Christ is what God is seeking to produce in us. And so this verse helps us to reframe our circumstances, take our thoughts captive, keep us moving to be more and more like Jesus. Well, this week we have several birthdays and anniversaries. On the 8th, Steve Mason celebrating a birthday. The 9th is Kelly Remender. On the 12th is Judy Heights. And the 13th is Landon Record. And then we have several anniversaries. On the 7th, that's today, Pete and Patsy Allen, along with Jeremy and Brooke Miner. And then the 9th, Larry and Joyce Musselman. And the 10th are Nick and Krista Richevsky's anniversary. So happy birthday and happy anniversary to all of you. And speaking of Nick and Krista Richevsky, they're our missionaries to Portugal, and they are going to be here on Sunday mornings, updating us about their ministry and sharing what's happening with their family. And so they're going to do an extended report at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning, and then at 10 o'clock during our service, it'll be an abbreviated one. So I encourage you to come and be a part Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, to be an encouragement to them and also to learn how we can pray for them more purposefully. Well, coming up this weekend as well, we have Saturday from 1 o'clock, and then wrapping up with supper at 5, we have Twin Lakes Day. So I want to encourage you to, I know many of you signed up, looking forward to being a part of that day. Then Sunday after the morning service, there's Next Generation Discipleship Training. And that is for all those who help with the nursery, the kids ministry, and youth. And so that's going to be after the morning service, and it's a luncheon. So if you have questions about that, touch base with Pastor Nate. Then this coming Sunday night, the teens will meet here at the church for youth group, but we will not have our other evening services, as we are encouraging people to attend the Brian Free and Assurance concert out at Twin Lakes Camp. Well, coming up soon, we have a couple work days for our nursery. We are working to expand the nursery. We have a number of babies and more on the way, and so we need to expand the nursery. And we're having a couple of work days on Saturday, September 23rd, and then on the 30th. And there's a list of projects and things that need done for this on the bulletin board and the connection point. I think that might be floating around some other places as well. But we're going to need a lot of hands, and the more hands that we can have on that, the quicker and the easier those jobs will be able to get knocked out. So if you have any questions, contact the church office, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction. And again, those work days are Saturday, September 23rd and the 30th for the nursery. We have an all-church work day for a lot of other projects around the church coming up at the end of October, and we'll give you some more information about that in the weeks to come. Coming up Sunday, September 24th, that's a few weeks away. We're going to have a child and baby dedication during the morning service. We already have 7 or 8 kids signed up to be a part of that. And so if you have a child, a baby that you would like to dedicate, that you're saying, you know what, we're serious about raising our kid for the Lord, that let us know. Or if you have questions, let us know. We'd love to help you with that as well. But you can sign up on the connection cards or let the church family know. And coming up October 6th and 7th, we're having a vertical marriage weekend here at the church. It's a ministry of family life today. It's kind of a marriage workshop, an opportunity for you to strengthen your marriage. And so there is information, the weekly update. You can learn more about that and then also get signed up. Well, coming up on Sunday, what kind of faith makes others thankful, encourages and builds up others, bears fruit, treats obligations as opportunities. Well, this is what we're going to talk about on Sunday morning. What kind of faith is it that gives others a reason to celebrate? And we're going to look at that from Romans chapter 1, verses 7 to 15. In a sermon we're going to talk about the fruit of faithful faith. Well, and we think about the fruit of faithful faith. A resource of the week is this a gospel primer. And the gospel primer is a tool that helps us to keep the gospel in front of us. One of the things we'll talk about Sunday morning is that the gospel is not just for unbelievers to get saved. It's also a tool for believers to continue to grow in our relationship with Christ. That, as we often quote in 2 Corinthians 5, verses 14 and 15, it's the love of Christ that controls us. And there's no place better do we see the love of Christ for us than the gospel of Jesus Christ. And this little tool will help us to keep that in front of you. And we'll have some copies of this available on Sunday morning. Well, our verse of the day, 1 Corinthians 15:58 says, "Therefore, my beloved brothers, be steadfast and immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain." So we're called to be faithful. The God saves us, and our faith needs to be faithful. And so we serve the Lord, and that we do this, we want to be steadfast, immovable, abounding in the work of the Lord, and realizing it's never in vain. God is working and using it for our good, for our Christ-likeness, and then accomplishing things that we may not even know about until eternity. Well, church family, I trust you have a good rest of the week. I look forward to seeing you this weekend. May God bless you.